Mr. Speaker, only the president and the vice president are more powerful than you in the United States. And I know while you're here, you want to talk about our shared goals as countries and the West's moral goals. But right now, our countries are divided on some crucial issues. Your president has made it clear that the US must get hold of Greenland. To many of our politicians, that would be an absolute violation of the things that our two countries believe in. It's not your land.
Well, it's not our land, but Greenland has strategic importance to us because of its geography, its placement, but not just to the U.S., but to all freedom-loving people everywhere. We live in a dangerous time and a dangerous world, and the president's recognition of that is not something new. In fact, it goes all the way back to President Truman in our country, who was first talking about the strategic importance of that. So we'll see how it develops.
It's one thing to say it's an important part of the world. This country believes that too. It's quite another to threaten military action, what the president says he'll take it the easy way or the hard way. I mean, you admit it's not your land, and you yourself said military action would not be appropriate. So why is that on the table?
Well, I don't foresee military intervention in Greenland. It's a small population of people, and I think diplomatic channels is the way to go, and I think the president's appointment of an envoy, recognizes that.
So should we not pay attention to the president's threat to use military action?
No, we should pay attention to his words, but I think people are heeding that. I've noted that the UK and some of our native allies have people there now. Maybe that was the point. Maybe that all of our friends and allies around the world have recognized anew the importance of that geography and that placement, and hopefully we can all work on that together.
So was that the plan all along?
I don't know. The president is playing chess, as we say, so we'll see. I don't know. I haven't discussed that specific issue with him. I do talk with him frequently, sometimes multiple times every day. But we have a lot going on right now, so that's just one small piece to a larger puzzle.
It's a big piece, though, in a big and complex puzzle around the world. Many people in this country look at how President Trump conducts diplomacy, also how he conducts himself at home. The president said the only limits on his power are my own morality. Have you got another king 250 years after getting rid of the last one?
No, we don't have a king. We have a strong commander-in-chief, and America needed that. And frankly, freedom-loving people around the world needed that. A strong America is good for everybody around the globe, and most people recognize that and state it as an objective fact. He's exerting peace through strength again. He uses bravado sometimes to do it. That's his personality. But you know what? The American people voted for a strong personality.
What's he willing to do in Iran? He has promised protesters in the street that help is on the way. As they have been gathering in the streets, risking their own lives, many, many people have been killed by the regime. Is America willing to take military action against the Iranian regime to bring it to an end?
We certainly hope that it doesn't come to that, and I think what he's doing right now is a strong show of moral support. I think President Trump's speaking out has encouraged and fueled the fire, so to speak, for freedom, and I think that's a good development.
And yet many people are dead who have been out protesting on the streets.
It's
the
terrible.
Iranians would have it that actually what has happened is this protest has been put down and many people have been killed. So I ask again, what's President Trump really willing to do beyond offering what you describe as moral support?
Well, you would have to ask him that.
What's your view? You're third most powerful
Yes,
politician in the United
States.
States.
Yes, I'm in charge of the House of Representatives and the Congress, and it is the role of Congress under our constitutional system to declare war. I don't think we're anywhere close to that or in any necessity of that. We do want to encourage the flourishing of freedom, and I think this is a very welcome development. I think freedom-loving people around the world recognize that, and they're applauding it and praying for the Iranians that they can continue this, and that as he said, the indiscriminate killing of innocent citizens and protesters is detestable. It must be stopped, and everyone, I think all prime ministers, presidents, leaders around the world should call it out.
Congress represents the American people. There are even Republican senators now who are uncomfortable with the number of executive orders, directions coming straight from the Oval Office, from President Trump, behind the grand desk, rather than going through your Congress. Are you comfortable with how much he is wielding power as an individual leader rather than consulting with your party or putting things through the democratic normal means?
Well, I would challenge the premise of the question. He does consult with Congress. The president and I consult together all the time, daily. He talks with Leader Thune, the Republican leader in the Senate, as well. Our colleagues are conferring with him constantly. And this is the most engaged and involved president with Congress probably in the history of the country. I mean, if you go back...
Really? When even some
Yes.
Republican senators are concerned about the balance between the Oval Office and
Well,
Congress?
there's a constant friction. Our system is set up so that we have the balance of powers. And it doesn't mean in any way that we are yielding any of our authority as the legislative branch. It means that we are trying to unify the government and work in an efficient and effective manner for the people. And I will say, the record that we have produced is one that we are quite proud to run on for our upcoming midterm election. The first year of the second term of President Trump has been remarkable. America's back, and we see that as a great development.
What some people in America and in other parts of the world, though, have been alarmed by seeing is some of the events on America's streets. I know you want to stand up this week as part of your visit for defending what you say is America's moral values. In what way is shooting an unarmed civilian in the streets in Minneapolis standing up for moral values?
Well, if you see the tape and you look into the details of that, that unarmed civilian weaponized a motor vehicle and tried to run over an officer who serves in the Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Agency of the country. And he made a split-second decision, and it looks to me, while we await the final details of the investigation, it looks to me to have been an act of self-defense. He was defending himself.
But, Mr. Speaker, we've all seen that tape. When it comes to an unarmed civilian, was it really the appropriate moral response for her to be shot almost at point blank?
It's easy for journalists and politicians to make moral judgments about this. Law enforcement officers are on the front line. They make split decisions. When a car is coming at an officer, they make a snap judgment. But I think what we saw there was a very tragic situation brought about by someone who was impeding the rule of law and law enforcement officers in doing their job.
Many people in the UK, many politicians and many members of the public wonder if America in 2026 is an America they recognize. You describe President Trump's approach several times as peace through strength. After what's happened in Venezuela, President Trump has said he would put Marco Rubio in charge of Cuba. Would you rule out America striking other countries in the way that they did Venezuela and removing the leader?
Well, first of all, we didn't strike the country of Venezuela. We're not at war with Venezuela. We're not.
There were military
occupying
strikes
Venezuela.
in the capital, Caracas, to remove the leader.
We removed the leader because he was an indicted criminal in U.S. federal court multiple times. There was a superseding indictment as recently as the fall of last year because Maduro is a criminal, a narco-terrorist. His actions are responsible for the deaths of thousands, many thousands, tens of thousands of Americans with his drug trade and all the nefarious activity he was involved in. And he was, through our system of due process, he was indicted, not by the Trump administration, but many years earlier by another administration.
But would you rule out taking similar action against other countries where there's evidence that America and other countries around the world can see of leaders behaving badly in ways that Donald Trump doesn't like? Would you rule out that happening in other countries?
If our legal system properly adjudicates with all of our constitutional due process concerns and everything else and properly indicts someone by a grand jury, then under our law, the Department of Justice can request the military to assist in apprehending that person. That is not an invasion of another country. It is not regime change. It is bringing a hardened, dangerous criminal who has murdered Americans to justice, and we would support that. I don't foresee another scenario like that.
There's around 1,000 days left till the next U.S. presidential campaign. You have a wide base of political support, not just among the MAGA movement. Would you run in 2028?
I have enough trouble of my own every day to think about the future. I really don't. I'm trying to be an effective Speaker of the House in very polarized times, not just in the U.S., but around the world, trying to be a steady hand at the wheel and to serve faithfully. It's a matter of faith to me to do that. I mean, it's a biblical admonition to not be concerned about tomorrow because today has enough trouble of its own, as Scripture says, and I take that to heart. So I'm just trying to be faithful in the little thing that is put before me every day, and I don't really have any further aspiration. I just want to do this job well.
Many people believe you could have an even bigger political future, or I don't know, would you be happy to serve with J.D. Vance as a number two?
Look, I don't even think about that. I'm probably one of the few people in Washington that doesn't have aspiration for a higher office. For that matter, I didn't aspire to this office, never expected to have it. I'm just trying to do my duty.
And just lastly, you're here as part of the commemoration of, the United States and the United Kingdom's historical separation I just wonder, there are people in this country who worry about the state of America right now, and they do look to Donald Trump as somebody who is trying to lead his country in a very different way that many people in here find challenging. What would you say to them?
I would say to our friends in the UK to keep faith in America as we keep faith in you. This is a special relationship, as is often said. We should stand strong together. There are periods and epochs in our history with different leaders and different styles and all of that. At the end of the day, though, I think our foundational truths are the same, and our friendship is important. And I think as long as America and the UK stand together, it's good for everyone around the globe.
And what about Nigel Farage as Prime Minister one day?
It's a fascinating concept. He makes some good arguments, and I think the UK is going through a period of political change and sort of a recalibration, as America has done over the years at different times. In some sense, we're sort of doing that right now, and so I think at the end of the day, though, we trust the American people. I think you could trust the people of the UK to make the right decisions and to evaluate these things for themselves, and ultimately to choose the right course. And I hope that we will.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Thank you. Thanks so much.